Welcome to the Dirttime channel. I'm Alan Halcon.
I'm Dude McLean.
And today we're going to be doing some tips, tricks, and projects. What do we have here, dude?
Well, some time ago, I wrote an article for Wilderness Way, and it was about primitive fishing. And one of the things I thought about was primitive floats or bobbers. I don't know if these were ever authentically used or not by anybody back in the old days, ancient days, but it works, and it is primitive. This is a coyote gourd.
Or buffalo gourd.
And these are found here in the area where we live, so I just went for a hike and picked up some, let them dry. Drilled a hole through this one, passed some cordage through it, and this makes a great float. I did this one I made, and I just took some yucca and made a kind of a net so it would stay in there. Don't laugh at my net.
You call this a net?
That's a net. It's holding it, isn't it?
Don't let Paul Campbell see the shamble of what you call a net.
Well, Paul Campbell is a perfectionist, and I'm not. Obviously.
It's probably a good idea he's not here at the moment, because he'd sit there and remake that.
Probably.
You'd be offended.
Again.
What do we have here?
This is an oak gall. And, of course, they're found from oak trees. Make that connection. You can find them on the ground. These are made from a wasp, and it's basically the spit. And then they lay their eggs in here, and the little critters get away.
Yeah. I'd like to point out, it also makes great tinder when you crack it open. The inside is very pithy-like.
Yes, it catches a spark really well.
Right.
And I always have this in my kit, one of these. These are two little gourds, and you've seen these kind of gourds around. They get real big. They make bowls out of them and drinking vessels and so on. But I've got these at swap meets, and I just made them, and again, a little bobber. I was thinking about a reel. What'd you do with my little stick?
It's on there.
Oh, sorry.
I can't take this guy anywhere.
Well, you know, I get lost easily. Anyway, I thought about a reel. Now, I looked at this, I said, oh, okay, so I got a piece of cane. It's already hollow. And I got another piece of wood, and I just put it through here. And I made myself, because I'm very clever that way, I made a hole through here. I put a little notch. I got it on the wrong way. No, I don't. Well, it's there somewhere. There it is. Well,
he's lost. He's disturbed.
He's
fumbling confused.
Yes, the story of my life. Anyway, I made a little notch so this thing will lock and it won't turn if you don't want it to turn. And if you wanted to use a reel kind of deal,
the real deal,
it'll just unreel. Or, as Alan says, you can just have it unravel off of here like you would with a Coke can.
Which brings me to the next question. Dude, why didn't you just wrap the twine around the stick?
I could have done that, and I've done that with this cane pole. But I can also use my little float that way, too. You don't have to use this. This was just a goofy idea I had.
I won't argue that point.
Thank you. Next.
What do we have here? Talk to us about these rat traps.
On the Dirttime forum, I wrote an article some time ago about the use of rat traps and how effective they are and how easy they are. They're cheap. They're light. You can stick a couple of these in a pack. You can have in the trunk of your car. Wherever you go, you can have these.
And they're really effective.
They're very, very good. These are Victors, and my suggestion is to always get the Victors. I've tried the knockoffs. The springs are weak. They don't hold the animal well, and they're just not very good. Anyway, these are really good. I took and I painted a few of these. What I also do is I drill a hole in a couple places. I have two holes here at the top.
Yeah, right here, and then one down here.
Right, and tie it in place. You can put these on tree trunks. You can put them on top of the tree, on a limb that grows out. You can put them on the ground in the runs. At Dirttime 11, we had a class on trapping.
Yeah. Steve Davis, Critter Getter as he's known on the forums, did a class on trapping, and after the class he decided to hold a contest. The first person to catch an animal with a trap of their choice, he would give them a knife. He would award them a knife. And coincidentally, the winner not only caught one, but two animals, and both animals were with rat traps. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, really, they're very effective, and they'll catch up to cottontail size, and do a great job. Do our snapper trapper.
bam, that's how it works. Look at that. If that's not power, I don't know what is.
Bam! We have Emerald right here with the rat traps.
I'm
Fried rat.
I'm better than Emerald.
This is true. I suggest you get, they're cheap enough. I would stock these up myself. I would have 30, 40, or 50 of these put away. Always have some in your car and in your pack.
Very cool, very cool. Well, here's a little tip on jute. Jute is very good line to have. A lot of people have a problem. Well, let me back this up. Jute is good to have in line form, but when you strip it down, it creates an awesome fiber for fire making. And it takes a spark really easy.
He's burning my pole.
I'm trying. Anyway, the trick with jute is a lot of people have a hard time unraveling it. Well, what I have found is that there's two ways you can do it. The hard way or the smart way. Most people will take this, or many people, I shouldn't say most, and they will try to split it this way. And what happens is that eventually it starts to bind on itself. Okay?
And you have a problem.
An easier way of doing that when you're working with lots of pieces is you take one strand, and instead of pulling apart this way, you release one strand, you pinch it where the strand is released, you pinch the whole thing, and you just start to slide it down.
Smooth.
Very smooth, very easy. You can actually process a lot of jute in a short amount of time doing that way. Whereas if you're doing the other one quickly, it will start to tangle up on itself. So again, all you do is you release one strand. Instead of going this way out to the sides, by holding the strands one in each hand, hold one strand, you pinch at the release point, and you just start to strip it down. And then from there, you just process jute the regular way to finish it off by separating all the fibers and eventually creating your bird nest.
Jute is one of those things everybody talks about. They want a double duty at least of anything they carry. Well, jute is something you should have in your pack also. I always carry jute, or the equivalent anyway. And the primitive world was tied together. So in a camp, you always need to tie something together.
Well, I guess one could say it was the original nail.
It is the original nail, absolutely, because it holds things together. It binds. That's all a nail does. So we have the same thing with the jute.
Very cool. Now, there's one thing that our readers have been emailing us about, our readers and our viewers at this point, and that is your shoulder type rig for your hatchet.
Right.
Should we give them a demo of that?
Let's give them a demo.
All right, so show us this chest rig. It's like a baldric type rig for your mini hatchet as opposed to a knife. What do we have here?
Okay, well, what I did, I'm going to give you a quick background. I was watching everybody wear neck knives. And again, I'm going to mention Morris Kochanski. He talked about a neck knife, like the skookum, to wear outside of his heavy coats. Okay, so he always has access to it. And I went, wow, that's cool. Never occurred to me before to do that. But I took it a step further and went, I like a mini hatchet. This is the Grand Forks Brooks mini hatchet.
Right.
And Alan used to make fun of it till he used it.
That hatchet is awesome.
So anyway, I had an idea, and I went to a friend of mine who's a leather maker, holster maker, and a gunsmith. And I said, here's what I want. So basically, it's just a shoulder holster. All right. Now I had it made large enough so it'll go outside of a bulky wool coat. It's adjustable. So this is what we came up with.
Let me see. You can take a look at it. So you have, it's almost like it's a 3-point system going on here. In the back, you have this D-ring here. Well, it's just a ring actually. It's not a D-ring.
Yeah.
But you have this leather that comes around, goes around the front, buckles here, runs through here, buckles here, holds it in place. And instead of this coming over your shoulder across this way,
it just goes
over that way.
And this way, when I'm wearing anything on my belt, it doesn't interfere with it. I can wear this with my pack. So I always have access to this hatchet. When it's on, if it's cold and when it's winter, it's on the outside. I don't like it in my pack. And I don't like them on my belt. And you can do a larger version of this also. It doesn't have to be a small version.
Well, what I like about the single shoulder style here, as opposed to crossing your chest here, is you still have the ability to have a neck knife here, which you usually do, and one doesn't interfere with the other.
And it doesn't. It's not constricting.
Right.
You know. So anyway, that's really all it is. He has a really simple snap system here. You know, the handle goes down through here, and you secure it, and it stays right there. It doesn't move. Once you get it shifted to the right place, I've used this for, what, 3 years now, 4 years maybe, and I really like it. It works really well, and you can have one made somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of emails regarding this. What's that rig that dude's wearing? And, you know, we said we'd do something about that. Anyways, that's pretty cool. I'm Alan Halcon, Dude McLean, Dirttime.com.
Check your 6.